Hi, I'm Dallas Kiro, and welcome to Inside Creative Lives. Today I'll be talking to Anna Murphy of Annie's Cakes. Anna is a Venezuelan-Canadian graphic designer turned cake designer. I first tried one of Anna's cakes, and the texture was divine, the flavors were incredible, and I was shocked to learn that it was actually gluten-free, because gluten-free baking doesn't always have the best reputation. But something Anna has done with her artistry and creativity has cracked the code. I can't wait for you to learn about her creative process and to see the beautiful cakes she creates in her home bakery.
I am Anna Murphy. I am the owner and head baker of Annie's Cakes. I am a home baker specialized in custom cakes and dessert bars, and I also specialize in gluten-free. How many cakes I have done this year, and only birthday cakes has been over 250 cakes. Yeah. I was surprised by that number too. I was a graphic designer for maybe 15 years or so, and I feel maybe like all the techniques that I apply, color theory, elements that I have to put, how do I create it, how do I combine the themes and all of those things, kind of like is what I focused when I was doing my design career. So it do become like one together because I do apply the same elements that I did at the time.
Welcome to my little bakery. We are showing today how do I put together the cake layers, how I use the buttercream, my tools, and how is the creativity flowing in the kitchen. Okay, so right now I have everything ready. So I have my buttercream, my cake layers, they are all ready to go, and I have some buttercream ready with all the colors that I would like to do, and then a soft filling that we're gonna put in the middle.
When I started my business, I was just doing regular cakes, and then I realized that I was sick and I didn't know what's going on, and turns out that I have celiac disease. So when it happened, I was, oh, I'm over, like how am I gonna bake regular cakes if I cannot even try them? And I was getting really sick of it. And that's how I started to, okay, well, the gluten-free world is completely different. And that's when I started testing all the recipes. How can I do, how do I do it properly? How I don't get sick and things like that. And that's how pretty much life brought me to that. I realized there was kind of like a hole in that market. Not many people actually offers gluten-free, or if they do, they only have a very limited amount of things they offer.
So this cake is a gluten-free marble. I like to put a ring surrounding the cake when I'm gonna use a soft filling in the middle, because it's kind of like the concrete of the cake, so it's not gonna fall down. I usually like to grab the spatula and move a little bit, kind of like, so it actually stays safe inside and there is no mess. So that's usually what I do. I like to make a second ring outside, because especially when you're having a lot of layers and if it gets really heavy, the soft filling can come outside. I just smooth it out a little bit. So this is the first part. Everything that I use is made by myself. We don't use anything brought from the store. Natural ingredients, I think they're the best. Then once this is ready, I actually add another layer.
I really love creating something from scratch. Like someone would tell me, okay, this is my identity, these are my colors, this is what I want to express to people. I always like that, what people will feel when they're looking at what I design.
And I just finish up a little bit, just the touches in here, making sure everything is covered before I put it in the fridge a little bit. All the cakes, they need to be chilled a little bit before I do the final product. This in here is called the crumb coat. Usually we use a little bit more of buttercream to kind of seal everything so it doesn't mix with the buttercream in the outside. It's a very thin layer, doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it does really help with the final product. For all the cakes, especially if it's a gluten-free cake, I'm really cautious of cross-contamination. So I like to add a little bit of plastic wrap. If I have another cake in there that is chilling as well, nothing will come out and I can keep my gluten-free friends safe. This helps as well when you're doing a bigger cake that it doesn't move, everything is just gonna stay inside. And also it keeps the moisture. So now we're just chilling for a little bit before we continue.
It can get really overwhelming, especially in summertime, which is the busiest time for my husband, for myself. I love going to a dog park with my family. We are very dog people, and yes, going for a walk, going to nature, getting a nice coffee, walk with them, talk to them, that will reset me. So that's what I usually would do to feel better, and then I can continue.
I'm mixing my buttercream. I like to soft a little bit the buttercream because it's what is gonna help us with the final product. So I use a torch to help me to have that smooth buttercream. This one is gonna be the softer one because we're gonna cover the cake with this black one. So I need it to be very nice and smooth. This also helps with making the color even darker. As you can see here, how it's actually turning a little darker, which is nice. So right now, I'm just prepping all my piping bags. Usually, I found this is what it takes the longest. And I like to pick all the ones that I'm gonna use. So let's say I would like to use some stars on top. And then once I have them all ready, this buttercream that we already pre-made, I'm just gonna put it inside.
I feel that when you do something for fun because you're working on something that you are passionate to, you keep feeling passionate. You can feel that you can keep going. But because if you're doing something that you have a deadline, you have a stress, or you're getting just requests and doing what the client is doing instead of your own creativity, you can get burnt out.
Yes.
And you have to find a way to kind of, let all of that go, and you can just get dirty with bread and mess, and it's good.
So do you normally listen to music as you work?
I listen to music. It's a very wide variety of music. Like I have from Latin music, reggaeton to rock. Like it depends on the mood of the day. Ed Sheeran is a very go-to. And I love crime documentaries. I'm always setting up reminders, and I have my iPad kind of like at the bottom of the kitchen, and I can listen to everything. That's how I relax. Or sometimes I get so focused that I don't play anything. It really depends of what I'm doing. Especially if I'm stacking cakes, I like silent. Because the bigger, the heavier, if you have a soft, a soft feeling and all of that, you have to take account of all of that when you're building it. They have to be really chill. You have to put the right amount of towels. It's the science behind all of that. I like everything that looks good as well. So it's so many techniques that you have to do that it comes obviously with extra pressure, I would say, when they're bigger cakes like that. When I'm creating a cake, I have two ways. The client will tell me this is what I would like, or clients that have been working with me for a long time, they just give me an invitation. This is the thing, you do your thing. So when it's like that, it's awesome because I can do whatever I want. Well, not whatever I want. I obviously keep within, I know the theme, the colors and things like that, but I have kind of like an open book. And I call it a blank canvas that I can just create something different, something unique. If I have more like a base and idea, I will take some elements from it and then I create my own creativity. I will never copy anyone else's work. I wouldn't do that. If someone comes to me and said, I would like you to do this exact design, I don't take those clients. In the contract, I said as well, all the designs you are sending to me, they are for inspiration only. I won't copy the designs. I will do it in my style because that's what I created throughout the years and that's what I wanted to do. So in the very beginning of my career, I would say, how my style is gonna be. And I didn't know my style in the beginning, so I will try out different things. But then I realized what my style was. I like to have a lot of elements, but it's still keeping it clean, if that makes sense, kind of like a balance. I like to play with colors. That's the designer in me. Is, well, the cake is gonna be this color. How can I make pop the elements? I will make it, for example, the cake, I can make it maybe a little lighter and then the elements a little darker, or vice versa. And that way I can play with that. I don't know if everyone does it like that, but that is kind of like what I like to do. For fondant work, I like to dust everything with edible colors to give depth. It might take longer, it does. It takes a long time, but it looks so much better. Okay, so now this is cool and it's ready to have the buttercream outside the final coat. Everyone does it differently, to be honest. Some people, they start from the bottom up, and other ones from top bottom. Others use piping bags to do it, and I don't do neither of that. But in this case that I'm just doing a plain color, I just like to do it this way. I always like to check that it's nice and straight. And then gonna do some buttercream at the edges. So basically in here is when I take a little more time, because this is gonna be the final look. The first one, it was just the inside. So I use this one to kind of have it all even. I actually use a lot of heat as well for this one, but in this first step, it's just trying to find all the spots that I haven't covered. Here you can see some spots that is still missing buttercream, so I just like to come around a couple of times, making sure everything is nice and smooth. And after I see all of those spots already covered, it's when I started using heat to be able to have a super smooth. And then I'll notice in there that I need to do more things, but one step at a time. It's definitely a work of love and the patience a lot as well. So it's not too bad. You can see that it's starting getting smooth already, so it's not too bad. This hot water, I can put my tools. I can dip it in there. And then once I dip it, I clean it. I usually will have just paper towel or a clean cloth. There is kind of different tools. Some people prefer metal and others, they prefer plastic. I am a metal girly and I try plastic and it just doesn't work for me. So yes. So you can see in here the difference of the consistency that I was talking about. You wouldn't be able to get nice shells like this one if it's as soft as we use the black one. And this is very stress relief. I love doing this. So this is the part that sometimes I just turn off the music and I just start piping. Here we go. I think I got one more Oreo and we'll be ready. And then I have some edible gold to give some more shine.
Everyone says, oh, this doesn't taste like it's gluten-free. So it basically doesn't lack of flavor, doesn't lack of texture. Everything is pretty, so it's like the whole combo. Most of the clients that I have had gluten-free, they have been returning because they feel safe. Basically, the feedback is that it just tastes like a regular cake and they're really happy to see all the options available.
This is so good. It is really good.